I want to start this video by addressing 4 things. Number 1, we're currently in Palermo in Sicily with me and Mum. She's over there, we're travelling around. The second point, I've lost most of my hair. I went to get a haircut before coming out here. They've completely ballsed it up. One side was literally longer than the other. I didn't have time to go back and get it fixed, so I just took some clippers to it. It is what it is. The third point is the purpose of this video, which is about 2 different types of cameras, and which one you choose will have a great impact on how you approach photography and your enjoyment of using that camera for photography. And the fourth point is this video sponsored by Squarespace, but more on them later on. This stuff is dangerous. I could eat like 10 of them right now. Probably not a good idea. Now, I've been very fortunate to own and use a bunch of different cameras, especially in the last year, as I've been trying other brands other than Fuji. And very quickly, I've realized that there are 2 distinct types of cameras. Cameras that get out of your way, and cameras that involve you in the process. Now, when I used to use Fuji, I shot on 3 primary cameras: the X-H2S, the X-T5, and the X-106. And I found that over time, I gravitated more towards the X-H2 than the other cameras, even though it's the one that had the least public appeal. Even though the X-T5 and the X-106 were more involved in terms of how you interact with the camera, the dials, and everything to do with holding it, can't speak this morning, holding it and using it. The X-H2S was the first Fuji camera that felt like it could get out of my way, that I could just focus on photography, set it to a custom mode, and the camera does the rest. And whilst the X-T5 and the X-106 could also be set up in such a way, I found them to be not as easy and straightforward. For example, if I wanted to switch from aperture priority to shutter priority, on the X-H2 was 1 click, whereas on the X-T5 and the X-106, it was a process to go through all different dials and get it all set up. And while the process was enjoyable, I found that more often than not, it actually got in my way and stopped me from getting the shot that I wanted. If I was shooting an aperture priority and all of a sudden there's something happening and I want to get a motion blur style shot, by the time I got the camera into that mode, the moment kind of disappeared. And that's where I started to gravitate more towards the X-H2, which allowed me to do that. Fast forward to today, and I have the same, not issue, it's definitely not an issue, but the same, let's just say, situation with the Sony and the Leica Q3, the Hasselblad and the Fuji X-106. Well, I found that even though I have those 3 amazing cameras that many people lust over and would love to own one day, I just reach for the Sony more. Even though the Q3 is, amazingly well built and has a huge fan base who pride it on the usability and how it feels in your hand, when it comes to picking up a camera that I want to just pick up and go and shoot with, it's the Sony. And I've been trying to really understand why that is. Why am I not drawn to these, highly coveted cameras that I should prefer? And after months of thinking about this, going back from the Sony to the Fuji to the Leica, I've realized that it's the simple fact that the Sony gets out of my way and lets me focus on photography, whilst the Fuji, the Leica and the Hasselblad pull me into the process of using that camera instead of getting out of my way. They get in my way, if anything. Well, hello from another day. Now we're going to Scarpello, I think I pronounced it right, it's a little village somewhere here, and I can carry on this video. It hasn't grown back yet. So what does all this mean for you? Well, it means that if you're in a position to buy a new camera, upgrade, or even get a second body, you've got another decision to make regarding what type of camera you might be better off with. Because while every YouTuber gushes over Leicas and Fuji X100s, that might not necessarily be the best option for you. Equally, when people say that Sonys are soulless because they just work, well, for some people that's soulless, whereas for other people, that's actually the selling point. The fact that you don't have to worry about what the camera's doing or any of that, you just kind of point and shoot. So this is where you're going to have to decide what's more important for you. If you want the camera to just work, point and shoot, focusing is bang on, and you just don't have to worry about the interacting with it too much, you kind of set it and forget it, the Sony or the Fuji X-H2S might actually be a better option for you. However, if you want a more involved user experience, then perhaps an X100 or a Q3 type of camera might be more suitable. There isn't a right or wrong approach, and in most cases your attitude can change over time, because certainly it has for me. I definitely preferred the Q3s and the X100s when I first started photography, but now I much prefer the X-H2S and the Sony. Of course, if you have the luxury, by all means have both, but if you don't, then it's something that's worth keeping in mind. So I hope you found this video somewhat useful. Please leave your feedback down below. And now we're heading to another town for sunset, which I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce, probably because I don't remember what it's called, but I'll write it somewhere. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. I might have more hair, or I might like the skinhead look. I don't know yet. Yeah. Anyway, speak to you soon. Bye-bye. I'd like to take a moment and thank Squarespace for sponsoring this video. I've been using Squarespace for over 5 years as my online photography portfolio, where I share my best work from all the trips and shoots. Having an online portfolio is important because it's your little corner of the internet that you can arrange however you like. I would also encourage everyone to start an online blog about their photography. Having a blog is the best way for your website to stay relevant on Google, because there's fresh content always being uploaded. Not to mention, it's a great way for your website to become more searchable through SEO. Squarespace offers powerful blogging tools that will allow you to publish blogs from anywhere on any device. Squarespace also offers powerful analytics that help you understand where your readers are coming from and what they're searching for. If you're an aspiring photographer, having your own website is important because it will elevate you from everyone else. For a free trial followed by 10% off your first purchase, please use the link in the description or use code RomanFox when you check out. Thank you for Squarespace for sponsoring, and thank you for watching.
Hosanna al figlio di Davide, Hosanna al Redentore, Hosanna al figlio